March 2023. I feel like I say this every March, April, actually May, June, the rest of the year as well. But I cannot believe we are already into our fourth month of 2023. It's actually terrifying. But yeah, here we are. This video, in case you didn't figure it out, is everything to do with March 2023. And I feel like I have nothing to talk about, but also a lot at the same time. I don't know. It's weird. I also feel like I just put on more makeup than I've had on in over a week. And I get on camera and it looks like I'm wearing nothing. Okay. Memes. Let's talk about the memories. So I was finally able to post the who came out on top statistical analysis video for #GoodMoodDecks. And this one took a lot longer than the first one that I did for the #only10 mass market decks. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't watch it, you can, wherever it is, check it out. But it took a lot of time. I handled it a little differently. I took more time with it. So yeah, but as a result of that, I did purchase a deck or two, which we'll get to. But yeah, that took up a lot of time in March. A lot of my evenings in March were taken up by this YouTube video. But I enjoy it. It's something interesting. It's something different. It's something you haven't really seen. And it's also kind of how my brain works on a lot of levels. So yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Then of course we had St. Patrick's Day, which I did kind of see some posts where, I kind of never really thought of it that way. I'm not really Irish. There is Irish in my family, but just the smallest amount. But I have friends who are Irish and I celebrate with them. It's a day to celebrate with my Irish friends and enjoy, have my token green beer, and then I drive myself home because I am not a big drinker. I don't leave my car anywhere. I'm not sleeping at someone's house. I'm not paying for an Uber. I will have my token green beer and see ya. But I did see some posts about St. Patrick's Day and how St. Patrick kicking all the snakes out of Ireland is a euphemism for the pagans. So this was the first year I've heard that. And I'm not a pagan. I don't identify as a pagan. But a lot of the things that I do, a lot of things that all of us do, birthday candles, Christmas trees, whatever, come from paganism. So it was kind of I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. I still went out with my friends. I still had my token green beer and yeah, it was fun. St. Patrick's Day, same as every St. Patrick's Day. The other thing was I got to see the Northern Lights in my backyard. This is not the first time this has happened. I live in Canada, but I don't live too far from Toronto. I'm in a suburb of Toronto, so it is rare for us to see them. However, like I said, I have seen them in my backyard a few times now. This is probably the brightest I've ever seen them. So this happened on the 23rd, and I just happened to be awake. It was 10:30 at night, I want to say. I pulled up Facebook and I follow a lot of weather groups, and they had talked about how there's Northern Lights in Ontario right now. And in my head I was like, oh, they probably mean Northern Ontario. And then I went to the comments to see if anyone had mentioned my city, and someone did. And then they said, the only thing is you need to have a long exposure on your camera because they're not visible with the naked eye. So I've got cameras. I've got long exposure cameras. So I went out and I set everything up, and I couldn't get my cameras to work. It's been a hard minute since I've used my cameras. So I was rusty trying to find the settings and So I was getting all flustered and I was getting upset, and I was like, oh my God, there goes my opportunity to see them. And I just happened to look up and there they were with the naked eye, just dancing around right in front of my face. So I just grabbed my cell phone and started taking pictures, and they turned out stunning. And the cell phone still photos are a little bit brighter than they were to the naked eye, because when you, with an iPhone, when you're taking a nighttime photograph, it does hold the shutter open for, I think, 3 seconds. So that does make it appear a bit brighter. But then in the videos that I took of it, it does appear a little bit duller than they were in person. So somewhere in the middle is what they looked like to the naked eye. But that was stunning and I loved it. And I started trail running again. So I used to trail run. I started it a couple years ago just because road running was getting really boring and I like being in the forest. So I didn't trail run at all for most of the fall, actually any of the fall really, and then any of the winter. So it started back up again, and that's why, I don't know if any of you picked up on the fact that I have 2 watches on. This one is new, and I'm just trying to see if it has the same stats as this one. So this is my first day with them. So that's why I have 2 watches on. But yeah, trail running is very, very nice, very pleasant. I like it. Although you do kind of have to keep your eyes on the ground so you don't trip on something. You can't really be enjoying the scenery around you, but I'm in the forest nonetheless with a group of people. I would never go by myself because I tend to trip and fall, and yeah, I wouldn't want to do that alone. So, but yeah, so that's what I started in March. Shopping. So we're going to circle back to the deck part of shopping, but the non-deck part of shopping. I bought these socks at a store in town, a little bit north of me, and I just couldn't pass them up. I love spooky shit socks. So I'm wearing them right now. Otherwise I would hold them up and show you, but you get to look at the photo, so that's great. I could not resist these, like absolutely could not resist them. So of course I bought them. And I did buy some crystals. I did. I made a couple orders with Equilibrio gems. The first one I posted these to my Instagram, so it might be a repeat for some of you, but this is a carnelian and moss agate tower. I'd never seen carnelian and moss agate together, so I thought it was just really different, really cool. The pictures on her website were of like lighter colored ones, so I wouldn't have minded a lighter. Like this kind of, I don't know. It looks like tomato soup with parsley in it. But I still don't mind it. I love me some moss agate. So, and I have a love-hate relationship with carnelian, which sometimes it's really pretty and then sometimes it reminds me of like insides. It's kind of weird. I hope I didn't just ruin it for anyone else. So there was that in the first order, and then I got some little mini goddesses. I don't know if it'll focus on these. One is chevron amethyst and the other is black obsidian. So yeah, I like these for my pick a card videos. I have a rose quartz one as well, so put one on each pile and you're good to go. And then I bought a whole bunch of mushrooms for the same purpose. I want to do like pick a card videos and I want to have like pick a mushroom. So in my first order, I think I bought 3? Yes. I bought a Kambaba jasper. Let's just put these down so we can focus. I don't know, maybe the light is reflecting off of it too much, but Kambaba jasper is like a green and black color. And an orange calcite, which looks yellow, but it's orange calcite. And just a red jasper. These were the first 3 that I bought. And then that's when I had my idea. I did a pick a card video with my friends with all 3 of these guys. I guess you can kind of see how green the Kambaba jasper is when it's next to, I feel like it looks fairly black when you're looking at pictures or videos of it. I don't know. Anyway, so I did a pick a card video with these 3 and then I was like, I want more. So that's what I did. I ordered more. I did order something else, but it's a gift for someone, so I'm not putting it up on here. So I got this guy. In the second order, I got a tiger's eye. It is like flashy. You kind of can't really, I don't know if it's showing, but it doesn't stand. The bottom isn't like flat. So, I mean, that's kind of annoying, but also with a pick a card video, they're usually laying down. I don't know if you can see the flash or not. There a little bit. I don't know, whatever, it's not a big deal. I did get a carnelian. I do love this one because it's got like a ring around the top of the bottom part of the mushroom. Anyway, I do love it. That's not a bad carnelian. That's not insides looking. And then the next 2, actually 4, I bought 2 of each because I have found in the past when you buy these, you have an image of what you're going to get in your head and then you end up getting like a different looking one. So I bought 2 of each of them just in case that happened. I figured I would increase my odds of getting the one I wanted. But this is purple moss agate. So one is more lavender than the other. I really like them both. The darker one, here's the more lavender one, has some like browns underneath it. But the lavender one has these like striations in it. I don't know if it's gonna pick up, but I really like it. So I would have been happy with either one of those. But then the next one is green flower agate. And these two are very different. And you will see this is exactly why I do this. So let me try and get... So green flower agate. These are two very different specimens. This one has a lot of clear quartz in it. Like it's got a whole section of, like one whole side of it is clear quartz. And then you get into the green and the brown. And then we've got this one that is, you can actually see a flower agate plume in it a little bit. This one reminds me of like mint ice cream, mint chocolate chip ice cream. But yeah, so these are very different. I'm really glad I purchased two of those because there's such a variety between the two of them. So those are the crystals that I bought. I feel like that took a long time to talk about. So we're going to circle back to the decks that I bought. We're going to talk about deck edging. I edged 2 decks in March. The first one was the Ritual Tarot. So I finally got around to edging it. And I edged it in black. I think I had mentioned that I kind of wanted to do like, I don't know, even if you just fan them out. There's a lot of blue in here. So I kind of originally wanted to do them in a rich, not quite as dark as a royal blue, but something similar. And then I kind of wanted to do like a bronzy gold to incorporate this. But then I shuffled it like twice and it started chipping. So I wanted to do it black so that I could color in the chips. And it looks great black anyway. Like I'm a fan of black edging, so it's not a big deal. And then when it chips some more, I can always go back and color it in again, and hopefully it won't be noticeable. Let's see, has it chipped since edging it? I haven't used it a whole lot, and I've stopped riffle shuffling this deck. She put something somewhere. The creator Tiara May put don't riffle shuffle it either on her website or on her Etsy. I can't remember which one, but yeah, so now there's actually a disclaimer that says don't riffle shuffle. Oh, there's one little chip. So yeah, so I'll be able to go back and color that little tiny chip in with the black marker. And you could do that with any other marker, but I found that the rips kind of carried over onto the backs of the cards. So if I did them blue, if I did them gold, it would be like a chunk on the back. Problem. So I edged these next 2 decks, both of these decks, with Crayola. And this is the first time I've ever tried Crayola. I bought this version of Crayola because I didn't want one that was washable. Crayola, I feel like, is known for being a washable marker. But I thought if they were washable, they would rub off easier, especially if your hands were like clammy or oily, or if you just put lotion or something on. But not good. Not good at all. So yeah, I did bring out, which I meant to grab it. I actually don't know where I put it. My like microfiber glove, and I did sit there, rub the edges as I was watching TV one night. And I thought it helped, but actually doing this right now has just shown that it clearly did not help at all. So unfortunate. Now, the second deck that I edged with the Crayola markers was the Little Wizard's Tarot. And I edged it in purple. It goes so well. So here's the title card. It goes so... What am I doing? Look at that. Fantastic. So for some weird reason, this one... I'll do it with the other hand. It does rub off, but not nearly as bad as the black. Oh no, I have black on these fingers. Okay, well, you'll just have to take my word for it. It rubs off, but not nearly as bad as the black. And you kind of really have to try to make it happen for it to rub off. I'm not even seeing it, but it could be because the black has taken over. Anyway, so that was my experience with Crayola. And you know what? I'm just going to suck it up and use Sharpies from now on. Sharpies seems to be where it's going to be at for me because it's the one that has caused the least amount of problems, other than the fact that the black kind of has a metallic sheen to it. It's kind of like a hematite look, but not as strong as the hematite. It's not black anyway. But you know what? From now on, it's going to be Sharpie because this happens to me every time I edge a deck. Every time. Doesn't matter what I've used. Tombow, Crayola, and there was something before the Tombow, I think. Anyway. Sharpie it is. Heed my warning. So who got upgraded to the leather pouch this month? This is a sad story, my friends. It's a very sad story. I have a bad taste in my mouth about this. So, the deck that I upgraded to the leather pouch is my Plaidback RWS. Why? Why did I do this? Well, I actually put it all in order. It's not anymore because I got mad and I was like rage shuffling. I put it all in order because I was prepping to receive a deck that I purchased as a result of my hashtag Good Mood Decks research. There was a tarot deck there called, I'm not sure if it's Mood Tarot or Tarot Mood. I'm not entirely sure. It is an indie deck. It is available on either the creator's website or Etsy. I ordered it off Etsy, and I never got it. And even like UPS never even received the shipment. A shipping label was created, but UPS never got it. And UPS actually like a month later canceled it. So like when I would go in to track the shipping, I'd be like, maybe by some miracle it's there today. It's been shipped. And then I went in one day and it was like, UPS has canceled this. So my plan was to do like a side-by-side unboxing because the creator did recolor the RWS. It's an RWS clone, but it's got little like speech bubbles and they're funny. They're so funny. They're right up my alley. They're right up my friend's alley. The cards are apparently like waterproof. You can spill stuff all over them. They're like a weird plastic. I was looking forward to that. So I reordered my RWS Plaidback and I put them in here and I waited so patiently and I was just heartbroken. Yeah, devastating. But I did get my money back, so that's good. Obviously, it's clear that I never received it. It's not like there was tracking and it was shipped and it's showing delivered. It was showing canceled. So that's a little disappointing. And I had tried to contact the creator several times through several different platforms and no response. So at first I thought that they might be on vacation. I think they are on vacation, but they are on their socials. So I don't know what happened. Doesn't matter, whatever, it's not a big deal. It wasn't meant to be. I also canceled another order in May, in March. So I mentioned before that I ordered the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. I ordered this on January 20th. And then Chapters Indigo got caught up in this cyber hostage situation, and I still have not got it. Like I said, it was January 20th. I was supposed to get it in the mail February 10th. So I was just like, you know what? And it's just been sitting there pending for so long. And I've got email after email saying, we're going to get your order out to you. We're shipping your order out to you shortly. We're just making sure we still have inventory, And then it's like weeks later and nothing. So I canceled it. Also not meant to be. And you know what? Whatever, fine. I don't need any more decks. It's fine. On that note, let's get into the decks I bought. So this was a result of the hashtag Good Mood decks. I love the tin. Like really, this tin is just, I'm a sucker, okay? But this deck has been on my radar for a long time and the quality of this is delicious. Like there's a gold foil on there. I don't know if it just looks shiny on camera. I don't know. Or is it even focusing? But yeah, this is such an adorable deck. There are some cards that I don't love. And then there are some cards that I do love. And I do talk about that at the end of my video, talking about the decks, how I was influenced and what I was influenced to purchase. So that's a good one. I think this one will be a travel deck for sure. I think I'll use it more for travel, and maybe with my pick a card videos, if it needs a more gentler approach, even though I don't know. I do think this is a gentle deck, but I also think it tells it like it is at the same time, if that makes any sense. Another deck I bought. Where is it? Oh, this is such a fun story. I'm still in shock that this happened. So on Facebook Marketplace, I've been watching a couple of decks. And if you are on my Instagram, you maybe will know what I'm about to say. I've had my eye on the Game of Thrones tarot for a really long time. I'm a Game of Thrones fan, and I'm a sucker for pop culture decks that I'm a fan of, hence the Harry Potter, the Little Wizards, blah, blah, blah. But I also read that they had changed the card stock, and now the card stock was crappy. And this deck was like $30, $35. So I didn't really want to spend that money on crappy card stock, especially when everyone was ranting and raving about the first edition card stock. Like that kind of, I don't know, I don't love that. But I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and I sat on it for a little bit, and then I finally messaged her, and I was like, okay, like what condition are the cards in? And she's like, I literally opened it and flipped through it, and then it's just been sitting around. I have not had time to use it. That's why I'm selling it. Like, there's still an order and everything. It was $10 Canadian, so that's even less US. So finally I was like, okay, fine, I'll take it. So I'm driving to her house to pick it up on my lunch one day from work, and it's just kind of like, I was like, imagine it was the older cardstock. And I was like, no, there's no way. And then I picked it up, I tossed it on my passenger seat, and I'm driving back to work. I pull into my parking garage and I park, and I'm like, maybe I should just look to see what the cardstock is. Can you see that linen finish? It's the linen finish cardstock. I couldn't believe it. What are the odds? So yeah, then I did some research about like which one is the linen finish, and it's the 2017 one, and then the 2018 one is the one with the not so great cardstock. So yeah, my first used, technically, well, I did a trade, but I never actually used that deck. I didn't even really want it. It's now in purgatory, actually. Actually, it's posted for sale on Facebook Marketplace. It doesn't matter. But my first secondhand deck, that went surprisingly well. So that was really exciting. I was very happy about that. And I don't know, things like that don't usually happen. Like, it's a rare thing for that to happen. So I was just like, yes, I needed this. And the last deck I received, I bought another one, which we'll get to. This was the reason I started the Who Came Out on Top videos. For my 40th birthday, I wanted a specific deck. I wanted a special deck for my 40th birthday. I turned 40 in February, in case you don't know. And I was kind of perusing Instagram one day, and I saw this deck, and I was like, that's it. That is my 40th birthday deck. I was willing to kind of spend a little bit more money on it because it was for my 40th, and I wanted it to be a deck that I would always have, and it would just always be, this is the deck I bought myself for my 40th birthday. It would be that kind of energy. And not only that, this deck is fun, it's funky. I feel like it is very Aquarius. Like, it is Aquarius vibes. And then, you know, her website talks about international shipping, so super excited. She ships to Canada, great. Then I finally went to buy it, and I couldn't even select another country from the drop down in the shipping section. It was US only. So I'm like, well, this must be a mistake. So I messaged the creator, and she said, nope, not a mistake. I'm no longer shipping outside of the US. And my dreams were crushed, like absolutely crushed. So I went to the only 10 mass market decks videos for inspiration. I was like, well, I don't care. I'm finding a replacement. And I don't like to buy a deck just because I wanted to replace another one. Like, I don't like that whole thing, but I was angry. I was really angry. So, and I thought, well, mass market would be the way to go because it would be cheaper. And if it's going to be a replacement deck, I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. So that's I started watching the only 10 mass market decks, and then I was like, actually, I wonder who is the most popular out of this. So that's what sparked all of that. And obviously I was influenced to buy the Gentle Tarot from the Good Mood decks, but then I was perusing eBay and I saw the original deck that I wanted for my 40th birthday. And I was very skeptical. I thought, oh, it's got to be a fake for sure. So I'm messaging the person selling it, and turns out the person selling it is the creator. So I don't know why she wouldn't have mentioned to me before that I can get it off eBay. But anyway, so it was the creator. It is a real deck. It's not a knockoff. It's not fake. It wasn't used. It was still pricey. Of course, I have to pay Canadian shipping. Anyway, this is the deck. The Badass Tarot. This is not everyone's cup of tea. I know this. Very, very aware. There is a lot going on in this deck. Fun. There's also another version. I should have had this prepared, but I'm going to edit this so you won't even notice. I'm going to pick out some of my favorites. Okay, so I kept it like as PG as possible. There are definitely cards in this deck that I would not show on my public channel. I've done it with pick a card videos with my friends and they loved it, which I knew they would. So, but yeah, this isn't a deck that I would really necessarily post on my public platform. But these are just some of the cards that, I don't know, really kind of hit home. Obviously, it's very modern. There are definitely cards I don't love. So the second version of this deck, I prefer the court cards in the second version. This version, I don't love the court cards as much. So I did kind of think about buying the second version and switching out the court cards because they all have the same backs. But then, I don't know, that just felt like a waste of a deck. And like I said, this was not cheap. This one, I love this perspective. I love getting photographs of different perspectives of things. I think that's really cool. But yeah, so I think ultimately for now, the second version is not going to be on my list. Initially, it kind of was. I kind of just always knew this is one of my favorite cards. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yeah. Yeah, and now I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot of money, and you know, I'm really kind of hitting this point where I'm like, okay, I need to stop spending money on tarot decks. So, I don't know, maybe a couple years down the road. What's this Leonardo DiCaprio movie? Oh my God, Wolf of Wall Street. Of course, I Love Lucy. So yeah, really fun. This is again another favorite. Not everyone's cup of tea, that is for sure. Totally understandable. And then this lovely individual is from The Nanny, which was on my TV all the time growing up. So yeah, that's that deck. I don't know. Hopefully people weren't like offended by it. I tried to pick cards that showed certain things, but also not the worst ones. And the other deck that I purchased, but will not receive until October, is the Bohemian Gothic. So I was kind of not sure. I was on the fence because of the spot gloss. So I put it to Instagram. Sorry, I've just messed up my cards here. I put it to Instagram to see if spot gloss was a deal breaker, because I know kind of like if the light hits that in a certain way, it makes it a little bit more difficult to read. Well, spot gloss is worse than that. And I know Lisa Pepez has talked about it. I don't own any decks with spot gloss, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. But I thought, you know what? If I don't get this, if I don't buy it, there's a really good chance I'm going to regret it. I have wanted this deck for a very long time. So I did it. I haven't really had any buyer's remorse about it. Not yet. I might when I get it in the mail and see how it's covered in spot gloss and I don't enjoy that. But it could go the opposite way. Maybe I'll love it. I don't know. And I actually was listening to, or the creator made a comment on their Facebook. I don't know if someone else was asking about spot gloss or something. Spot gloss came up. And the creator had said using a lot of spot gloss helps to prevent people from copying it and creating counterfeit decks. So I also kind of stand behind that. Like the counterfeit deck issue is really annoying. And I feel really bad for creators who put their blood, sweat, and tears and money into these things, into these decks, only to have someone rip them off and have people buy that instead. And to be honest, I think if it weren't for tarot communities like TarotTube or Instagram or Facebook, I honestly might not even know what a fake tarot deck looked like. Like, I wouldn't know how to tell the difference. So these people who are purchasing them, like, you almost can't really blame them because they might not know. So if that's the reasoning behind using a lot of spot gloss on the cards, like I said, have at it. Go for it. Spot gloss the heck out of it. And you know, I can't say I will support that because I haven't seen the cards yet, but I would like to support that. Anyway, so I bought it. I bought Bohemian Gothic. I didn't buy the limited edition one. I just bought the regular one. I don't need limited edition anything. I don't need all that. I can buy a regular black bag for it or keep it in the box, whatever. But yeah, so I'm excited. October does seem like a really long time to wait, kind of. I've waited longer for decks, but anyway, did you end up pre-ordering it? Are you excited? Did you get the limited edition? I know limited editions, they were like releasing in chunks. So some people didn't get them and thought they were done. Really, at like 1 p.m. they released more. I don't know, that whole situation was weird. But anyway, my stomach is growling at me. It is time for a snack. So enjoy the rest of your day, your week, your month. I will be doing a response to only 10 indie decks. So that's coming up where I'm going to have a little conversation about this deck. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Check out my Instagram for what's going on in between and enjoy the rest of your day.